It says that they sell comics right here on the window, so let's take a look inside. Alright, so as you see, we visited that vintage toy store, and they had a lot of really cool stuff. They had so many different cool retro vintage toys, a lot of stuff that I had when I was a kid, and it was just very nostalgic seeing all that stuff. They had old video game things, old action figures, but as you saw in the video, they did have a lot of comic books, but this place was not necessarily a comic book shop. I don't think they really did much sales in comic books, because when you see what I found, you're not going to believe it, and you're not going to believe what they were asking for it. So let's dive in, but before we see all those books that I picked up, I want to let you know how many books I got and what I paid. So as you saw, there were multiple long boxes, multiple short boxes, and they were just buried in other stuff, old toys and boxes of other stuff, and buried within packing material, and there was just stuff everywhere in that shop. It was a little bit of a mess, to be honest. But I asked the owner, or the person working there, I believe he was the owner, and I asked, do you mind me digging through all the boxes of comics? He's like, yeah, have at it. He apologized for the mess, and I just started digging. And once I opened a few of those boxes, I started finding some amazing books, and I pulled out some pretty awesome keys. So just wait for that. There is one really awesome book, really popular right now, and I found that in one of these boxes. So I ended up getting 35 comics. So I figured, first I asked him, how do you price your comics? And he said, well, pull out what you want, what you like, and I'll make you a deal. And I'm like, all right, well, that could be good or that could be bad. But it did end up working in my favor tremendously. So I ended up just pulling book after book because I was finding great stuff. And I ended up pulling out 35 books, like I said. And I brought them up to him. He looked through all the books. He commented that some of those were good books, which I knew, and he knew as well. But his pricing was interesting because there were some books in here he's like, oh, this is from my personal collection, or, this I just got in a collection recently, or, he had a story behind a couple of these books, and he did look on his phone and was attempting to look up the pricing on some of these books, but he was just going really fast, and he just came up with a price for everything. All 35 books, he offered $200. And I jumped on it. I didn't even negotiate. I didn't say anything. I said, sold. I handed him 2 crispy $100 bills, and I said thank you and walked away. So let's get into all the books I found. So if you do the math, 35 books at $200 total comes out to an average of $5.71 per book, which about 85%, maybe 95% of these books are worth much more than $5 or $6. There may be like 5 or 6 books that, are probably $1, $2, or $3 books, but the majority of these books are definitely worth much more than $5. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First book I found here is What If. It's from the volume 2 of What If. The Hulk had killed Wolverine. Awesome foil cover with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton lying on the grave. Issue number 50. And also with these books too is almost every single, about 99% of these books are in near mint, high grade condition. Like no spine ticks, no wear, no nothing. They're all near mint, except for like 1 or 2 Bronze Age books that I found. So let's just keep going. So we have What If Hulk Killed Wolverine, issue number 50. Love this book. It's like a $10 book or so. Also grabbed Mark Spector's Moon Knight number 50. This is when Moon Knight leaves the Avengers. Really cool die-cut cover. So I grabbed that. I like Moon Knight. Also, Moon Knight number 52. Not a key or anything. Really not really an expensive book. I mean, I think it's definitely worth at least $5. But I love the cover. It looks like a king card, a playing card. It's got Gambit, Moon Knight, and Werewolf. I mean, what a cool cover. And speaking of Gambit, we got issue number 1, the first solo Gambit series. High grade, near mint, no spine ticks on that black cover. That is a gorgeous looking book. And another perfect book here is Rogue number 1, first solo Rogue comic. Really awesome, high grade, just a great book. I had to grab it. And then also, how about some Deadpool? This is Deadpool, the Circle Chase series, issue number 1, first solo limited series for Deadpool. Not a bad find. And it is also in super high grade. There's one little tiny spine tick, but it's very minor. And that's awesome. But they also had a second copy, so I grabbed both. Why not? And then they also had issue number 2 and issue number 3. So really nice little 1 through 3 of the Deadpool limited series. Also, another Deadpool cover here, but this is the second appearance of Domino in X-Force number 11. Love this cover. It's also the first appearance of Weapon Prime. This one is kind of funny because I grabbed it thinking it was some West Coast Avenger key. I thought it was like a Vision key of some sort, but it's not. It's just another run filler book, newsstand edition, issue number 42, but it's got a cool cover. And then this book here, Spectacular Spider-Man 136. So those are like 2 books that probably aren't worth $5, but what are you going to do? I thought they were cool and I wanted them anyway, regardless, for my own personal collection. Also, I found issue 189 of Spectacular Spider-Man. Love the hologram cover. It's in perfect near mint condition. There are no spine ticks at all. The comic is perfect. And the best part about this comic, it has the most awesome centerfold poster in there with like Hobgoblin and Spider-Man. It's just such an amazing artwork poster that this book comes with. And let's get to a little Amazing Spider-Man, issue 264. I just started grabbing them because these were the only ASM books they had in there, and I needed them for my collection. Nothing too crazy. Some nice covers, but they're not keys. But this last one here, issue 272, this is a little minor key. This is the first appearance of Slide. So, not too bad. So that is the first stack. Now let's get into the really cool stuff. All right, I mean, those books were cool, but let's keep going. I got Tomb of Dracula, issue number 50, and this book is mint perfect. This thing's gorgeous, and this is such a cool book because it features Silver Surfer. And also, Tomb of Dracula, issue number 51. Just a cool cover. You got Blade on there. Not too bad. Not a key, but I'll pay $5 for a Tomb of Dracula book all day long. There was actually one other Tomb of Dracula book. I think it was issue number 52 maybe? Or, I don't know, somewhere near that one. And it was in really low grade. I actually have that in my press right now. Just trying to clean it up a little bit. So I don't have that to show you. But I did find a copy of Dazzler number 1 in really high grade. Really nice. And then this was really cool. So they had one issue of Dazzler number 1, But they also had a second issue of Dazzler #1. But let's take a quick look at what's up with this book. Real quick, I'm going to pop it out here and show you. So there is a recalled issue of this Dazzler 1, where on page 25 and 26, it's printed in black and white. And this copy had the recalled black and white printing. So that was super cool to find. This one is in color, but this one, pages 25 and 26, are in, page 24 and 25 are in black and white. So that is the recalled issue. I mean, it's only like, I don't know, a $15 book compared to the non-recalled one, which is like a $10 book. But still, it was really cool to find the recalled issue. So, not too bad at all. All right, let's get into some other cool stuff. They had a handful of X-Men #1 from the Jim Lee run. I grab these when they're, when they're high grade, and I just wanted to grab them. So we have that cover there with Cyclops and Wolverine, and we have this one with Colossus and Gambit and Rogue, and then the really cool Magneto cover. And then they also had Uncanny X-Men 247, which is not a key, but I did need that for my run. All right, and these last couple books are the cream of the crop, icing on the cake, best books in the whole lot. So these ones aren't really super expensive, but I always grab them. I kind of spec on this book a little bit because this is the first cover appearance and the second overall appearance of Jubilee. Really cool book. It's X-Men Annual number 13, and these are all in super high grade. They had one copy, they had two copies, they also had a third, and you know what? They had 4 copies, all high grade, all really cool, really nice books. I bought all 4 of them. I mean, it's probably like an $8 to $10 book, but for $5 or $6, I'll grab them because I'm kind of specking that we'll see Jubilee at some time in the future, so I thought that was a nice little find. All right, so let's keep going because these last couple books are amazing. I ended up finding this here, X-Men Annual 14, the first appearance of Gambit. For $6 or less than $6 for the first appearance of Gambit, that's like a $65 book. It's in extremely high grade, no spine ticks, no spine roll, no blunt corners, no nothing. That book is crispy. And they had that copy, and I was looking a little harder, and I found another copy. 2 copies of X-Men Annual 14, first appearance of Gambit. Some people think X-Men 266 is the first appearance of Gambit, but in my opinion, that's the first cover appearance, and this is the first appearance, because he appears in multiple, parts of this book, and he has dialogue, and I just think that's the first Gambit. All right, so 2 issues of that I thought was amazing. Such a crazy find. Then I saw this book, X-Men 104. It's a 30-cent X-Men book. Beautiful condition, very high grade, awesome cover, kind of an homage to X-Men 1. You have all the X-Men on there, and you got a Magneto appearance on the cover. This is, according to Key Collector, this is the first appearance of Corsair, the first appearance of Chioda, and the second cameo of Lilandra. But I know CGC has posted on many of the graded books that this is the first cameo appearance of the Starjammers. So, pretty cool, really nice book, and in high grade, this is like over $100. So I thought that was awesome. They had another copy. I bought both of them. 2 copies of X-Men 104 in high grade, pretty much near mint condition. I thought that was just an amazing find. I couldn't believe I found these books in the wild, and the pricing was just outstanding. All right, so the last but not least, this book has been really popular lately, and I almost gave into the FOMO and bought one for I think I was gonna pay like $50, maybe $60 for it, which I used to be able to buy these for like $25, $30, and now they sell for around $100 or more, and that is this book here, Everyone's loving this book right now. This is Wolverine, issue number 88. It's direct edition, but is the deluxe version. It says deluxe right here. And look at this condition. I mean, oh, that's, no, I thought that was a tick, but that's just the glare. There's like a couple little tiny creases, but they're not color breaking. I mean, this book is perfect. Oh, that's just on the bag. There's like a little crease, but that's on the bag. Man, that is a super nice high-grade copy of Wolverine 88. I was flipping through the books, and I saw this cover, and my jaw just dropped. I couldn't believe I found that. And the funny thing was, while I was searching through the books, I had this weird little premonition that I was going to find this book. I don't know why. Probably because about 80% of the books that I was searching through were more modern books. I mean, there was hardly any Bronze Age, besides a couple books that I grabbed, like those two Draculas and those two X-Men that we just saw, the issue 104. I mean, that was really awesome finds. These were actually over in a different little pile off to the side. So that was just kind of a cool little find. But there was a lot of modern books and just really nothing that interested me. No keys. You know, I was wondering if I was going to find like an Ultimate Fallout 4 or something crazy like that. But of course I didn't. But I found a Wolverine 88 for $6. That is awesome. Those are the books that I picked up. I got 35 books. I paid $200 for all 35 of them. I think I got a crazy deal. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think about my purchase? I kind of did the math, and I did a little averaging. So, you know, if I did an average per book, I paid $5.71 per book. But also, you know, we can kind of do the math and say I paid $1 or $2 for some of those cheaper books. And, you know, maybe I paid what? Like no more than 10 or 15 bucks for this book. No more than 10 or 15 bucks for that book. I mean, that is an awesome deal in my humble opinion. All right, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed checking out my comic book haul. Always go out in the wild and think outside the box and see if you can find comics. I mean, antique shops, toy shops, flea markets, yard sales. You never know where you're going to find comics, and you'll never know when you'll find those gem mint grails just hiding. You know, you never know. So thanks for watching today. Smash that like button if you enjoyed what you saw. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos just like this, and ring the notification bell so you can see when I upload my next video. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.